Well, hello, everybody, and happy Sunday. Good to be back here. Andy Nichols, the Backwards Traveler, here for the Sunday live show with the Sunday fam here on my own channel. And hope you're all doing well, to borrow a line from my buddy Beatles Tone. Oh, man, it just feels like I'm just catching my breath from all this traveling and the holidays and Thanksgiving. So I hope that everybody out there, if you celebrated Thanksgiving, you enjoyed it with your families. It's a great time of year to reconnect with family and spend time and dive into all things Beatles, anthology, and Wings. And we've got a lot to go over today because I feel like, I've done some lives here and there on the road, but I actually haven't done one from my house in a long, long time. So it's good to be back here. Excuse me, just kind of getting over a cold, as you can tell from the traveling and all the tour stuff, and it does take a lot out of you, as Heidi can attest. But she was with me every step of the way, making sure that I was doing pretty good. So I thank her for that, especially Montreal and the Liverpool family. So big shout out to them. Sorry that we couldn't hang there for the rest of the trip, but sounds like you all had a good last day there in Montreal, and you found a good record store, which I'm so jealous of you all about. But happy for you nonetheless. And you'll hear more about that in the next Hands episode. So let's catch up and say hello to everybody. Sorry about the delay. I'm going to really try to be better about that. If I say 11:30, I mean 11:30. So, but it's a Sunday, right? If most of us are just chilling, you watch me for an hour, you don't watch me at all. It's fine. But I'll try to work on that. Yes, welcome back to November 1995. Hello, David. We've taken the Wayback Machine through time, through the mists of time, as Paul likes to say. It is crazy, though, right? 30 years now. We're back in anthology mode and going all through it. And I have not watched all of it yet. I know Beatles Tone did. He got through it all. I've watched episode 1. I watched that with my folks. I said that dreaded word. I watched it with my parents, and then I jumped right to episode 9. I will watch the next few over the next few nights or so. Mr. Martinez, all the way from Texas. Good morning, taking care of us as we travel. Good morning, Heidster. Lynn A, hello. Matthew, good morning. Good morning to you. Mr. Liverani, good morning to you. Hope you and the fam and James are doing good. And if he's gigging today, I wish him a good gig. Hello, Jeffrey. Hello. Tony D. That looks like a new handle for you, mate, is it? Coming off fresh of Chicago night 2. And I know you had a great time. The closing night of the tour. Hello, Andrew. Hey, from one Andrew to another. From Brazil. Ichiban. Do you like that song? We did, and I hope you did too. Spent it with my brother. You got your Anthology 4 vinyl box today. So you just got volume 4 or you got that? So I took delivery of that while I was away. Thankfully, no porch pirates came here because I had the ring on. So if they did. Mrs. Beatles Tone. Hello, love. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Tom live right. Lynette. Hello, dear. You did like EG. Back in Brazil. Very good. Taking lunch. Well, I'm going to stay here for about an hour or so. James Boyce, good to see you. Haven't talked to you in a while either. So again, we can just now finally recover and catch our collective breaths and just enjoy the anthology and Wings and a whole lot of it. And a lot of ground to cover today to recap things. And of course, Sunday trivia. And as you noticed, if you saw some of my socials and stuff, I've got a lot of swag to give away that I'm going to be giving away each of the next few Sunday live shows. And the first of which is going to be a copy today of the new Wings book, because me and Heidster had a few extra copies that we actually had bought each other 2 each. So we had a whole plethora to give away. So today, the winner of today's trivia is going to get a copy of the book. Sadly, it's not the autographed one. Or did you see some of those, the really, really nice ones that I think Denny Lane's wife, Elizabeth Hines, got? What a nice package that is. But this is just the old regular book. And I'm kind of agreeing with my mate, Beatles Tone. I'm thinking I like this cover better now than the UK one. He's really kind of turned me on to that one because he really can't stand the UK cover, and I'm agreeing with him. So I'm kind of liking this kind of bubbly retro 70s look to the cover now over that dreaded UK one, which is just not a great cover. So that'll be at the end of the show. I've got about a dozen questions, half Paul and Wings, half anthology related. So if you don't have the book, you have a chance to win it today. If you do win it and you don't have my contact email, just send me an email at andynichols@gmail.com and we'll arrange shipment to you. So, and if you win and this is your second copy, then I just ask you to pay it forward and give it to somebody who might like it. Because odds are, I would think whoever's going to win this today, you probably already have it. So if you happen to win it, just pass it on to somebody else who you would think would like a copy of the book. And I'm just finished the wildlife chapter. Again, traveling. I've got all these books to read. I mean, talk about books. Luca kindly sent me his latest book, Back to the Egg, the story of Wings' last album. Look for more stuff from him on that. You name it. I mean, I'm still trying to get through the John and Paul book. So, but this is priority. So I hope to finish this between now and when me and Heidi fly over to see Mrs. Beatles Tone and Beatles Tone. Before then. But it is an easy read. Lots of Sean Lennon quotes. You knew it wasn't going to be exhaustive as those two right there. This is Paul's take on everything. And it's an oral history, right? So it's a very, very easy read. I think Lynn said in our Discord that she actually already finished it already. So I'm not surprised. It is an easy read. And Lynn, I hope you get a chance to finish Anthology now that, Thanksgiving is over. She said, I haven't had time to watch it. So that'll be towards the end of the show. I think they're easy questions, especially the Beatles ones. So again, just pay it forward if you win. Tony says that he had an incredible experience seeing Paul. Unfortunately, he missed the limo arrival, but he got 2 souvenirs, talked to a teenage girl going to her first concert. And that's what it's all about, right? And that's what Paul does these shows for. The people that are going for the first time. I did not. Out of the 7 shows, hello, Retroactive Armor. Out of the 7 shows, I did not choose Hamilton. Our timing with where we were going, that show was on a Friday. Heidi and I had taken time off to travel and do this stuff. So I did not go, but a lot of close friends and fam of ours did, namely Joan and Boyan. They left from they left from Montreal and drove the 6 hours to Hamilton. And I know my partner, Tom Hunyadi, on 2 legs, he made the drive to Hamilton as well. And I'm just so happy that they got a chance to see that. And the video from that was absolutely awesome with the tartan background, of which I've got a jacket that looks just like that. Actually, I worn it at fests. So I was just so happy and pleased. And do I have some regret? Sure. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Mull of Kintyre? But hey, I was there vicariously through them. Absolutely. Mrs. Beatles Tone likes yeah, I'm with you. Although now James thinks it looks like a children's book. Maybe so. But I mean, they could have. Well, you'll see this in the next Hands Across the Water episode, which is going to drop this week. We talk about Wings, the compilation, and a better cover for the book would have been all the smattering of photos that you saw in the LP, the collage of all those photos. That should have just been the cover of the book, right? Because how do you define Wings, right? It's not one secular lineup. They could have taken a picture out of here and just they could have taken this montage of photos, right, and made that the book. That's what they could have done, but they didn't do that. So you'll hear more of that from me and Beatles Tone and Kyle in the next episode of that. Let's see. James says that he started the Wings book, but he needs to finish it up before Christmas. Yeah, I think you could, James. It's an oral history, so it reads pretty quick. Tony says that 1985 made me amazing now and then were the best highlights. Did anybody see in night 2 in Chicago the little mess up of Let Him In before Let Him In started? And then Paul's like, see, this just goes to show you we're live, but we love that. We love that about him. James has only heard Mull of Kintyre once out of his 14 shows, and that was the Wings gig in 79. And I know that's a song that UK people either love or hate. And I know Mrs. Beatles Tone and Tony cannot stand that song. Why? I get it. They probably heard it to death when they were younger, and they're like, but for us Yanks, we love it. Lynn really loved that video of Milk and Tire, and those they're not, but the one I think Lynn, I saw the same one as you, and he has the yell at the end because we had listened to it. Heidi and I had watched the night of the concert. Oh, you know what? And I want to give a shout out to our mate Gil from Long Island, who drove all the way from Long Island to Hamilton too. Gil has performed at Fest too. You've seen him on probably McCartney pages. Good guy, big McCartney fan, and he made the trek too. So I really want to give him a shout out. And his video was the first one I saw, but it was from far back. So when we watched it, we were like, ooh, yet again, cell phone videos. How do you tell the quality? Then we watched another one, and it was a little bit more up close to Paul, and he hit the yell, man. He hit the whoa, and we were like, Heidi and I went, he hit it. Oh, it was so good. It was awesome. Mike Narr. Hello, Mike. The UK cover for that book is better. All right. Fair enough. Mike Nair. See, I got it right that time. Sorry. Been saying it wrong all these years. Joe Mantaneo. Good morning, sir. Hello, Neil from Aberdeen, Scotland. Hello, mate. I think the pre-show intro had a slight glitch on night 2. Oh, really? You talking about the video scroll after DJ Chris? I know that happened in Montreal on night 2 as well. And we're like, oh, is it starting? And then they actually restarted it again. Yeah. The Wings compilation hasn't done well commercially. It got to number 12 in the UK and disappeared. Yeah, but do charts matter anymore? Exactly. Sorry, Mike. You can say it. You can spell it that way too. I always tell everybody my name is pronounced like the U.S. currency. It's not spelled that way, but you can say that too. Lynette says at night 2, Paul messed up in the middle of Blackbird and had to start again. Well, listen, it was the last night of a 20-date tour. For an 83-year-old guy, he's allowed to have those mistakes. He really is. Because it just shows you how authentic he is. Absolutely. Yeah. Let me know if that was the video scroll, Tom. I think it was. Oh, the music right before. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. It's tough, if you have a job, these shows during the week are tough. That's why James and Tom went to Pittsburgh because James was off. I didn't go to Pittsburgh. You want to go to as many shows as you can, but how many can you really go that are during the week? That's why a lot of friends traveled to Buffalo on a Friday night because it's the weekend. It's easier. You could tell he was tired. Yeah, that happens. The Black Friday prices are out there now. James had messaged me about that. I think it would drop to $69 or something like that. No, I got it for about $90. The black. Not the multicolored one, but the black one. Grab those deals while you can now. I think through Tuesday, for sure. Joe says, did anyone mention the US and UK books have different inside cover photos? And on the back, the UK cover is blank, where the US cover has the band member names. You mean actually on the book itself, right, Joe? I don't think so. Matt, good question. We are going to have a 2 legs kind of wrap up, got back live show this upcoming week. So I can tell everybody right now, and we are going to open this up to any of our friends and family that attended one of the Got Back shows on the tour. If you did, okay, look out for an email or a DM from me because we are going to do a massive Got Back recap show with all of our friends and family who attended it. And that's going to be on Thursday night. Let me tell you right now, it's going to be this Thursday, the 4th of December, probably at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So look out. We're going to probably schedule time slots based on who's available and who can join us because we can only have 10 people in the call at one time. So we will have that for you, and that'll be probably one of our final episodes for the year. We might have a year-end one at the end of the year too to talk about the book and things like that. Because we've both been traveling a lot. Tom went to 7 shows. I went to 7 shows. So scheduling time to do new shows during this tour was just never going to really happen too often. But we are going to do that. And if you are interested, we'd love to have you on with us. Probably do a 2-hour live stream with everybody. I mean, anybody who went to any show, and I will send you all emails and time slots and links and all that stuff for that. Yeah. Mike says, great following you through you should have gone to Pittsburgh. You should have. You should have. Pittsburgh was a long drive, but so worth it. Oh, those pictures that James took from that show. Marvelous. Marvelous. It's my phone background right now. I screenshot it and I sent it to James. I said, this is my phone background now. What an eye. What an eye your son has. Should be very proud. The Wings comp Blu-ray sounds really good with the 5.1 mix. It is. And that is definitely the crown jewel of all the Wings releases here with that box set is that Blu-ray. We listened to it initially on my MacBook with me and Boyan, and then we came back to the house here and we listened to it about 3 hours and took notes on the differences. So yeah, it's a little jarring, especially when you hear Jet. Hear those horns on Jet, how like muted they are. It's weird, but it's good. It's in a good way. Okay. On the book itself. Okay. Actually on the book, on the cloth. Okay. Tony bought the Got Back shirt with the 70. Yeah, there you go. This is it. The hoodie, this and the hoodie, man. So the shirt has this logo on the front. The hoodie's got it on the back. And that's a home run for this tour. Certainly was. It certainly was. That was on Discord too, and listening parties, and all that had to kind of pause with all this touring. I mean, Tom with flights and traveling and things like that. It was tough. I mean, there were shows where we were both at it, but we just didn't see each other because he got there after I did. He had his seat, I had my seat. I think that was in Tulsa a couple times. Minneapolis, we ran into each other, but ran into a lot of friends of the show. I met a fan and his son in Tulsa, and they were like, Andy, it was great. I saw Richard Driver in Tulsa and his daughter, so you're kind of like on the run and you're going and you got to go here. You say a quick hello, and then you got to get to your seat, The Blu-ray is back in stock at the PM store. Grab it while you can. I had gotten mine from superdeluxeedition.com. And that it's been great, but grab it while you can. Absolutely. The pre-show music is amazing. Well, that's the best part of it. And then, I know my friend Dane and I, we geeked out. If you watch some of my reels on Instagram, we're jamming out to Love is Strange and things like that. But the pre-show music is the best. And it starts off with DJ Chris, right? And he'll tailor that to whatever city you're in too. Like when we were in Nashville, he ended his DJ set with Sally G with a little nod to us, which was awesome. Yeah. Yes, I did. I saw your post on the fan page, Tom, about that. Absolutely. I heard that. We picked up on that on the first minute we heard that, for sure. Jet is the strangest mix on the Blu-ray. The London Town songs had more oomph in 5.1. Here's a question for you all. The walrus was not Paul. Ha ha ha, wink wink. Do you guys have proper 5.1 setups in your homes? Meaning like a speaker here, a speaker here, a speaker here, and a speaker to hear these sets? Or do you have like a really nice sound bar? Now, I'm going to be honest. I do not have a setup for that. I don't. I've been looking after watching this with Boyan and listening it just through a TV. I'm like, I have to. We have all these Blu-rays, right? I've got to invest in at least a good sound bar to hear these things. So, yeah, David has one, like a proper, but I think if I get a pretty good sound bar, I can hear the Dolby Atmos and 5.1 stuff, right? Because my living room isn't really conducive to having speakers in every corner. A sub center and 4 speakers. I mean, I'm kind of like Beatles Tone. You just want to hear the music right in front of you with a left channel and a right channel. Not all this, I mean, it's great, but I have to be practical, right? And I think if I can find a pretty good sound bar and just put that by the TV, if I can hear the nuances that I've heard on the Dolby Atmos Wings, I mean, we're just listening to it through a TV and a laptop and going, wow. If it was through a decent sound bar, I'd be really, really happy to hear that. And then I can go back and listen to things like the White Album Blu-ray and things like that, because I'm just doing a disservice to myself by not having a proper setup to hear 5.1. It's been something I've been putting off for years, and I really, really, really need to kind of invest in that. Maybe like that's my New Year resolution. Yeah. Let me just read. I'm just curious what people say here about their setups. So David has a proper one. Joe does not either. Okay. Sub, center, and 4 speakers. Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth from Sweden. He has a setup connected to his stereo Sonos. Now, my dad's got Sonos speakers. Really nice sound bar. Sonos is good stuff. Matt says he's got a modest 5.1 setup, a sound bar for left and right, 2 separate rear, and a subwoofer. You can pick up a Vizio system pretty cheap, but it sounds quite good. Okay. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, I'm not looking to break the bank here. I just want something that I can hear the music. I don't need to hear, Paul coughing at the start of a song. But if there are musical differences, like we've heard on this Wings thing, even like on High, 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 Boy and I heard this little extra riff in Nashville, even on a little tiny MacBook, and we're going, oh, did you hear that? I would just love to be able to hear that in my own house. You don't have 5.1 either. Does James? And do you have any interest to do that, Tom? Or are you happy with a proper, just let me have a nice stereo and hear my music, which seems to be what a lot of people like. Matt, if you could send me some links or send me what you have, because you and I are both for the like-minded listening and stuff like that. So if you could send me a link of what you have, I'd be like to check that out and see if we could do that for the new year. Hearing the instrumental in separation is in the rear speakers is quite exciting. Okay. All right. James Boyce says it will never happen, but the Wings Over America in 5.1 will be brilliant. I have a proper setup for over 30 years. I upgraded the speakers in the AV a few years back. Okay. Thank you, buddy. And I hope the baby's doing well on this Sunday and your Thanksgiving was good and you're getting some sleep. And more importantly, she's getting some sleep. Yes, the Blu-ray is great. It really is. Because I got to tell you, other than that, the packaging is great. The green vinyl, if you saw my video, it's great. But if you're just listening to it on CD or on vinyl, you're hearing the same stuff that you've heard on all the various releases, So there's nothing sonically where you're like, ooh, on vinyl or whatever, or on CD. I mean, then you saw in the video I did with Boyan, the Target Green is nice, the 1 LP, but you want to hear differences, and you want to be able to hear those differences, but you have to have the gear to do it. So that's why I wanted to kind of poll the Sunday family and see what you have, mainly for movies. And that's what I think Tony has said the same thing. If you're a big movie person, and I know like the Joe Mayos and Toms of the world, they're big movie guys, right? That's where a difference is. Musically, if it's a little bit different, like the White Album I've heard sounds really good. And David's really good about this stuff too, with sound quality. He's kind of like my kind of go-to nerd about setup and hi-fi stuff. I mean, for me, it's all about the music. Give me the gear to play it. I mean, give me decent gear. I've got a nice analog setup system here at the house, but nothing that's going to light the world on fire. Bose speakers, nice receiver, hi-fi, nice turntable, and a 5 CD changer. But again, these kind of upgrades are what I want to hear. So thank you guys for letting me know about that. Couple other things to kind of show you and tell you about before we move on with the topics and the tour, and before we get to the trivia, which will end the show, because we can kind of take this. I have a kind of an open-ended itinerary today. I don't have a schedule. I have the questions, but kind of wanted to keep it open, and whatever you guys want to talk about, we can. But I want to have a lot of ground to cover because I haven't done live before. Out on Friday of this week is the Zoetrope War is Over 12-inch out here. And this is courtesy of the Lennon Estate and Simon Hilton. Very kindly sent me a copy of this last week, which came in. And it sounds really, really nice. It's fantastic. There's music from the animated film on the B side, which the animated film, War is Over, that kind of animated thing, drops tomorrow on YouTube. And really, really nice card that came from the Lennon Estate. Even got my name on it with a little star, which we all got. Tony, me, Tony, Kyle, and I'm sure you all saw the other YouTubers and social media people got it. And I'm just so blessed that Simon has seen us. And this is out on Friday, and it sounds really good. The Zoetrope thing, Tony, Beatles Tone posted videos on his channel to actually see the thing moving. I'm not about, you got to download an app on your phone. You got to have really good lighting to see the images move on the disc. It sounds great, and absolutely, John's vocals are so out there. They're so present, more so than they ever were on this song, and it's just in time for Christmas. So, Heidi, when we decorate the house for Christmas, we'll add this to our Christmas music playlist. And the music on the B side is original music from the film composed by Thomas Newman. So this is out on Friday, and the film is out tomorrow. So there's that. So thanks Simon for that. Material World Zoetrope. Saw that yesterday. I was down in my hometown of Middletown yesterday for Thanksgiving. I went to my local record shop and I saw it there. I think it was $34, but I don't have any real big interest. But it sounds good, and I hope you enjoy it, Tony. Mike's got 2 5.1. Yes, Matt. Listen to Snow is Falling is also on side A. So side A, you've got Happy Christmas, War is Over, and Listen to Snow is Falling. And then side B is the music from the film. That's all. And it's good. And especially Listen to Snow is Falling, which that's a song Kyle didn't even know when he was talking to me and Tony last night when we did the show. So it's good. It is really, really good. Yeah, well, we have to experiment with that and see if we see the images moving on it. We can try. It's on Billy Tone's channel. He did it as a short. You can try to see the images moving on it. And I've got the Mind Games Zoetropes, but that came with the cube. But other than that, those are the only Zoetropes that I have. James is watching Get Back in 5.1. Well, that must just sound incredible. Yeah. And hey, that's why these things are available. And I know the Beatles have taken a lot of flack for not releasing Blu-rays. And I know like Revolver did not have a Blu-ray. And that's a shame because the White Album did. And consistency with the releases across the board, especially with Paul's stuff too. That's why a Wings release like this is like, wow, we have that too. More of that, please. Yeah, that's interesting too. There's a brand new 50th anniversary release of that too. So other than the giveaway things, there's a couple of shout outs I want to kind of get to and thank, just to kind of go over the whole Montreal thing. Buddy of mine back home was getting rid of this and said, I don't have any room for it in my house. You can have it. And gave me an original copy of a rock show poster from 1980 or 81, framed. He's like, my wife has no room in the house for it. Do you want it? I'm like, sure, I'll take it, but I don't know where it's going to go. It was already framed. And that's an original one, which kind of goes for stupid money now on eBay. So I'm like, I'll take it, but I don't know where I'm going to put it. Really nice OG poster. I want to give another shout out to Two Legs viewer and subscriber Ron Lavelle. Ron made a detour and hooked me up. I bought some old tour merch from him. He had a slew of extra stuff. The Out There tour bag, brand new, a blanket, and a ton of shirts that were brand new that he had extras of that he gave me. So he met us. He actually, I wasn't feeling well. He met Mrs. Beatles Tone and Heidi and dropped all this off. So, I mean, brand new shirts that were like with the tags on them still, all from like the 2022 leg. So Ron Lavelle, thank you so much for making a stop and dropping that off to us instead of mailing it. I really, really appreciate you for that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Jeff has the Zoetrope that came out in 72 on Apple, Lon and Derek Von Eaton on Apple. Yeah, that's all the rage now. It is. It absolutely is. With all the positive reviews of the 2025 shows, do you think that, well, Tom, that's a question you and I have talked about. I hope so. I think it has been high time, and we know that physical media is whatever, even if it's on Amazon, which Paul has this new deal with, right? Let's have a kind of composite got back home video release on streaming, right? 3.5 hours, make it a composite show. A little bit of US 2022, a little South America, Australia 23, Europe 24, US 25, to showcase all the different changes. Let's see that pro shot stuff of help. You've seen on Paul's website, on his YouTube, I think this past week, he dropped a really, really nice 1.5 minute video clip of Live and Let Die from New Orleans. More of the pro shot stuff. So yeah, Tom, I think, and I know Lynn, she has been screaming for an IMAX release of the Got Back tour. And it's been some time since we've had a home video release. Let's get this thing. He's got all these shows that are pro shot and they're done so well. He gives the shout out to the cameraman, which actually two camera ladies, I forget their name, at the end of each concert. And Heidi and I made the video wall in Montreal during Hey Jude and Obladi Oblada. But We don't need to be seen on screen. Let's just have a pro shot of this stuff. Glastonbury, well, that you can actually see if you're in the UK and you have the iPlayer. You could watch Glastonbury. You're right. That would have been great. But this tour has been so marketed and branded so well that to not capitalize it with some kind of, mega home release, live album, CD, vinyl. Could you imagine if we got back triple LP vinyl release? That's a kind of a hybrid. I mean, who would not buy that automatically, right? It's been ages since we've had a live album. It's been ages since we've had a home video release. If any tour was going to get branded and marketed to come out, that's it. I mean, that would be it, and that would be awesome. Getting all the songs that were cut in there. Let's have Wonderful Christmas Time on it from London, from O2, or from either the O2 or from Manchester. Let's have Help on it. Let's have all those little let's have Every Night from Nashville on there. Let's do that. Please. MPL Marketing. I'll do it for free. Algorithm. YouTube algorithm. Send that to Soho Square, London. I'll do it. I will do all the work gratis. Yes, he does. Yes, because it's the audience half the time. And we don't want to see that. It needs to be like Rock Show. Let's just have the band. That too. Oh, Andrew from Brazil makes a good point. I think that's the show from 2023 in Brazil, or I forget what city that was in. That's the one that's on YouTube. That's pro shot. Something like that. That would be awesome. Just the band. We don't need to see anybody in the crowd. If you want to have something before the show and after the show, great. But if you watched Paul's socials after the gig, he's very much in tune with the kids going for their first show. I mean, how many kids did we see in blue Sgt. Pepper outfits? My first show ever. So Paul really, really identifies with that, and that's great. But give us a nice package. Come on. Andrew says, I hope they release the Blu-ray or put it on some streaming service, but I also think that in order to release the Got Back recordings, they have to release the recordings of the other tours first. Probably. Yeah. A streaming comp of this epic tour would be great. Will they ever put out the 2018 Cavern show from I'm not. That's a question for our UK friends. Maybe James Boyce can answer that one. Probably once, I think it did. Yes, just the band. Yes. Definitely would not buy. Really? You wouldn't buy a new live album of this tour that has been received so well? Come on. It's so good. I would love a Got Back release Blu-ray package like Rock Show would be great. Yes. You can't get the Blu-ray anymore. Was that the deal, James? It's just not available on eBay? Because I bought it. I bought it in 2013. I don't know what it's going for now. Christian is here. Hi, buddy. Good to see you here. Don't go there with the voice and lame set list. You can't do that. I mean, listen, you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. It's a free world. I don't agree with that. When you're there, you don't give a rat's ass about the set list. You don't. Now, at the shows, did I sit down during my Valentine? Because we had to stand at a lot of these shows? Yes, I did. Is that my favorite song? No, it's not. I actually enjoy the video more than the song. But poor voice, you lose me on that one. The front row at the Atlanta show appeared to be young influencers. I was prepared to be annoyed, but they knew all the lyrics. Great. Well, Paul's team does that. They reserve the front row to bring the influencers up. But if they knew all the lyrics, then power to them. Because sometimes they don't. They don't. Beatly Tone. Hi, mate. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hello. Yeah, that's what happens. The first row is always, you can never usually buy a ticket for that. And you really don't want a ticket in the first row. You want to be like in the center on the aisle. And if you're like our friend Joan, who's 8 feet tall, she can stand anywhere and she can see the show. Except if you're near those damn cranes on the side. Yes, it's even better than 2022. Wouldn't you agree, Tom? And listen, yes, the band helps them. the band helps him, and that's fine. It's great. It's absolutely a great, great show. I have no regrets about any of it. Being front and center with Paul McCartney in Nashville, come on. You don't get, when you're that close, you don't care about set list. You don't care about age. You don't care about nothing. Right there. Right, Heidi? Right looking at us for 3 hours. Everybody on the rail. Boyan, Joan, anybody that was on that rail felt like they had an intimate experience with that man for close to 3 hours. And then we met Brian Ray the next day, who was so cool. Just walking around the gallery in Nashville with his girlfriend. And we honestly just bumped into him. Heidi was looking at something at a glass case, looking at some historical stuff. And she thought she was asking me a question. And she actually bumped into Brian Ray, thinking that it was me. And I went, "Hey, Brian, good show last night." And he said, "Thanks, man." Brian Ray was so nice. And his girlfriend. Better and more emotional than 1990. Yes. Yep. Mrs. Beatley Tone says we thought his voice was fantastic. He was hitting some incredible notes. Yeah, it was. He hits that falsetto, and maybe I'm amazed, and nails it. And as Tony has said oftentimes, when that song starts, do you hear the age a little bit in his voice before the band kicks in? Yeah. So what? Tony was shocked that he didn't play Eleanor Rigby. It's been years since that. It's been years. He's not going to play that anymore. And I think Tom Liverani could chime in on the yesterday bit a little bit more because he's more in tune with that, right? Since 2018, something like that. Not Brian with a Y. That's your Brian. Heidi is hardcore Brian Adams. Brian with an I. Two different ways, two different spellings there, honey. We'll try. We will try. Paul's like wine. He gets better with time. He does. He knows how to pace himself. That's why I don't think he's going to deviate too much from what this tour is now. I think the Got Back tour is going to be what he rides out with tweaks here and there. It's too perfect. It flows perfectly. The pacing is good. Other than a song or two being swapped out, maybe a couple songs from a new album, I don't think we're going to get a whole new branded tour again from Paul. These guys come out, sound check, they say hello, hugs, and they get right into it. Yeah. That's okay, Matt. Thank you for emailing me your 5.1 stuff. I really appreciate it. All the best to you and the family, and enjoy your Sunday. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Last time he did yesterday was in Japan 2018. Thanks, Tom. I knew he knew that off the top of his head. And apparently he does not want to do yesterday anymore because he kind of wants people to remember it as he's performed it. I don't think I'd have a problem with him doing yesterday now. Would anybody care? Right? Because it's such a tender song and a tender ballad. But so is Here Today in Blackbird. He could do yesterday in the middle of that acoustic set on the riser. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that, but he must feel some type of way about that song vocally that maybe he doesn't want to touch it. So got to respect that. That's fine. Yes. Yeah, Brian and his girlfriend, Allie, were very sweet and very real. Yes, very genuine. Couple of minutes, have a great time, and off we went. And he was just so genuine. He asked us our names. He talked to Boyan. He was like, "Oh, you and Paul had a great exchange during the show. That doesn't happen that often." And he asked us all our names and had a nice 2-minute chat and went about our day. Real, genuine, humble people. And that's Paul. Brian Ray has a fantastic vintage guitar collection and has a Les Paul shaped pool in his Really? Wow. Huh. James Boyce says, hopefully Paul will do some UK shows next year rather than a more bloody US show is the best. He's coming home, James. I'm telling you. He's going to come home. He's going to help Europe out, and especially the UK. I'm telling you, I feel it in my bones. And we'll be there, Heidi. We will. He's going to come home and do some shows because in 2020, Europe got really ravaged with COVID and a tour was booked, and now it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm telling you. He'll take the holidays off, first quarter album, summer UK European tour. That's my prediction. And the archives come back. And I can tell you this, okay, on good authority. I can tell you this on good authority, and I might have shared this either on a chat or something. The archives are not dead. You know why they're not dead? Because the archive team that has worked on the archive albums has been working on the book for the last 5 years. And when you think of it that way, it makes sense, okay? The book has probably been in production for a couple of years. Flaming Pie probably went into production before the pandemic, so all the work was done. They dropped it in 2020. Then you have McCartney 321, and the tour starts, and they probably said, okay, we're going to do a book. Let's just put all of our archive team into that. And that's what happened. And that makes a lot of sense. So the archive campaign is not dead, which is why you see it in the tour book still, even though my partner on Two Legs vehemently disagrees. It's not over. I know Beatley Tone agrees. It's not. And that makes sense. His whole team would go and do that instead of focusing on the next release. Plus, in between, you had things like One Hand Clapping and these kind of one-off historic releases that are dropping, these archival projects, but not a proper one. It's not. Abe dancing during Dance Night is a highlight. It's like, who do I watch, Paul, or do I watch Abe? Abe looks good too, doesn't he? A lot of weight lost. That's right. Hopefully in Liverpool. Well, that's, yeah. What's your opinion? That's the timeline. That's kind of what I just went over. Yep. That's what I think. He performed his two most vocally challenging songs in a row. 1985. Yes, absolutely. James was supposed to see him in France in 2020. He did see him a year ago, but of course I had some more on. Yep. Pretty bad. That is the worst. We've talked about that ad nauseum too, when they spoil it for you. We didn't get too much of that on the road at all. Nashville, we were pressed up like sardines against the rail. We didn't move. We were up for 16 hours, but it was worth it. Wasn't it? And she documented a lot of great stuff in Montreal too, which I made part of my reels and things like that. She did. So thank you for that. I'm sure it was. All right. I'm gonna go over a couple more things, and then we're gonna go into trivia time now. It's already been 43 minutes, and you've all been here. So again, as I told you, I've got a couple giveaway things to give away. The Wings book is today. Okay. The next Sunday live, I've got a pair of 2 My Love Red Rose Speedway shirts, courtesy of Heidi, the MVP. We had a snafu order with these, so we got duplicates. They didn't send the right ones. We couldn't send them back. We have them. So the next live show that I do, number 1 winner will get this, and the runner-up will get the second one. So shirts will be giveaway number 2 on the next Sunday live show. James says, at least it was annoying, but at least I've had 13 good experiences. Exactly. And I want to give props to Tom Liverani, because he posted on the magazine page this past week. He had done a post, or I guess somebody on the team had done a post saying, now that the tour is over, please list all the shows you go to. And curiously, he counts soundcheck shows as a show, because I think Shelly, the person who used to manage the VIP experience, told everybody that. Jones told me that. Thomas said that. And I could see that, but I also could not. So I commented back, and I went 16, because I didn't see, if you're counting sound checks and concerts, it's 16. So I love the fact that, Tom, you carried that tradition on with that post, because you were like, look, hey, sound checks are a show, because it's like another experience, right? I love how you did that. So, of course, some other people were like, how'd you go to all those shows? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's none of your business. I hate when people are like that, But it was really cool. And thank you for doing that post, Tom. And it's really amazing when you think about it. All those different shows. Lastly, the final giveaway, the granddaddy of them all, probably before Christmas, okay? The winner of it'll be 2 Sundays from now, okay? I've got a Power to the People box to give away, okay? I had bought in one myself back in August. And then Simon sent me and Kyle and Tony one as well. So this is going to be the kind of the final giveaway, probably before Christmas. So that will be a Lennon-based trivia Sunday live show. Very tough because this is a big mother. It's the whole big thing. Sealed, and this will go to the winner of an Andy Sunday live trivia show. So stay tuned for that in a couple weeks' time. Oh, thank you. You're the best at that. And if you don't follow Magazine on Facebook, please do, because it's a great page that we're all part of. So, okay. Walmart gave him a yes, they did. Trivia time, baby. Trivia time. Get those thinking caps on so you can win yourself. Where did it go now? Here it is. A copy of the Wings book. The archive series is not dead. No, it's not. I've got about a dozen questions, okay? And Beatly Tone, if you're on watching, can you keep score? Or maybe the MVP can keep score virtually and put it in the comments because I'm flying solo here of the rankings. Yes, that's a prize. Yes, that is the granddaddy of them all. Right before we fly over and see you. So hopefully somebody who wants that can win it. Okay. All right. James, see you later, man. Thanks for being here and nice talking to you again. Okay. Magazine is the best. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. So we've got to get about a dozen questions. Half are anthology-based, half are Wings-based. Okay? So, question number 1. Here we go. There is a DJ edit present on the single version of the LP Wings, while on the deluxe set, the full version is present. What song is this? There is a DJ edit on the single LP, single CD version of Wings, while on the deluxe sets, a full version is present. What song is that? Lynn's got to take off to see Wicked with her sister. Too bad, because I was going to crush trivia. But since I already have the book, I'll leave it to somebody else. Will you enjoy Wicked? Thanks for being here, Lynn. And I'll keep score as well, too, if I can. Okay. You've got a single edit on the one LP, one CD, but on the other versions, you've got the full. What song is that? Give everybody a few seconds to get that. No. Good guess. Good guess, but that's the same on both. That's the same across the board. Bingo! Mike Nair. Mike Nair is on the board. Mike, good to have you on a Sunday live show. I know it's with work, it's always hard. It is with a little luck. And again, you've got to be the first one in there. Okay. Mike K. 1. And you've got to be the first person in the comments to do it. Now, if the timestamp is the same, we are, you know what? We're very kind of loving and peaceful here. If the timestamp is the same, we'll give you a point. How about that? Now, I see at 12:46, Mike Nair and Tom Liverani both have with a little luck. So, Tom L., you get a point. Okay. It's with a little luck, which is interesting. You get the single edit on the one LP and you get the full 545 on everything else. So there is the question for number 1. Okay. This is an easy one. Easy. But there are 2 correct answers for this question. 2. And I will take either of them because it's going to be UK, US based. How many songs from Band on the Run are represented on this Wings set? Go. How many songs? How many songs are from Band on the Run are on this Wings comp? You could put a number or you could list them all. Either or. Either or. Ooh. I see. All right. I see both answers at 12:48. And that's David with 7. And that's George with 6. Okay. And the answer could be both. Why? You all know this, okay? In the UK, Band on the Run is 9 tracks. In the US, Band on the Run is 10 tracks. Let's go through it. Band on the Run, Jet, Bluebird, Let Me Roll It, Mamunia, 5, okay? 1985, 6. Okay, so there's 6 if you're counting the UK. It is 7 if you include Hell on Wheels. See, Kim, I didn't miscount this time. See? 7. 7 and 6. I can do this. See? It is. That's a little in joke for the Liverpool fam gang. It's 7 and 6. So both answers are correct. So we're going to give a point each to David and George. So we've got ones across the board. Yeah. I mean, 7 songs from one album, or even 6. And again, you'll hear us talk about this on the next Hands episode. It's a bit heavy, but I get it. I did it right, though. I did it. No edits for you. I don't want to see this in the next family highlight reel in December when we come over. Okay. No need to write scores. Okay. Call it the names. I can't see. I will do that. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Are you both watching together, or is Tony in the garage and you're in the house? I think that's probably the setup. Next question. Okay. Denny Lane has 3 co-writing credits on this Wings compilation. What are they? 3. What are the 3 co-writing credits that Denny Lane has on this Wings comp? And again, they've all got to be in one comment posted. 1. What are the 3 songs? What are the 3 songs that Mr. Denny Lane has co-writing credits on this album? We have a little snow here in New Jersey today, although it's mostly melted now. It's not even December yet. Come on, gang. What you got? They're all looking at the liner notes now. Come on. I'm going to start giving detention out now. No. Wrong. Nope. Close, but no cigar, David. Good guess. Morse Moose is not on. We're talking about the Wings comp. We're talking about this, DJ. Just the Wings 2025 release. Just this compilation. Not the album proper. Good guess, Mike, but no cigar. Yep, I'm looking at him right now. 1, 2. Yeah. 1, 2. Yep. 3 songs. I did not think this was going to be a tough one. Damn. Yay! We got a winner, Joe Mantaneo. Ding, 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 ding. Deliver Your Children, Mull of Kintyre, and London Town for the win. Joe Mantaneo, you're on the board. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. I wish. No, you get a book. Good job. Okay. Next question. Who did the illustrations and artwork on this 2025 Wings compilation? Who did the illustrations and artwork on this compilation. Up, Jeffrey got it. Humphrey Ocean for the win. Humphrey Ocean. You know what though? I will take it's Humphrey Ocean and Hypnosis because they're both involved. Humphrey Ocean did the artwork, but the sleeve design is Hypnosis. So that's actually both a correct answer. Right? Because the artwork in here with some of those like this new kind of vintage Wings logo stuff that you've got on here now, this kind of cartoon-ish thing going on. This is all Humphrey Ocean, okay? Which I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of because they don't really look like them. Like, come on, like that's Paul. Linda, a little bit, I could see. But I don't know. It's a nice shirt, though. And I do like the cartoonish Wings logo on there. But Hypnosis did the sleeve work, so that is a correct answer. So we will take both. So, Tony, I need you to give a point to David. I need you to give a point to Jeff, Mike Nair, and George Smith. George Smith is currently in the lead with 2 points. Okay. Very good. Very good indeed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Close this up. Now, on to the next round. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Okay. What other single edit is included on the Wings compilation? There is another single edit. David and Mike are also on 2. All right, so if we have a tie, we'll have a runoff question. And this was actually entered in the comments before. What other single edit is included on Wings? Mike Nar, yes, also has 2. I need a score update, Beatly Tone. No, incorrect. Yes, oh, he got you, Mike. He got you. He got you. No, Good Night Tonight is not on there. Well, it is a single edit, but it's not. It's the regular version. No, no, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Because that single was released as a standalone single and was the bona fide hit. You guys are saying Good Night Tonight because it was a 12-inch single, okay? But the initial hit that was released was the single. So I'm not counting that, if that makes sense. Okay, I know what you're saying with Good Night Tonight. I do. But that's not because that's the single that was released was the hit, even though it was cut down from the 12-inch that got released later. Bingo. That's what I'm talking about. Venus and Mars Rock Show. Boom. Yes. Yes. Mike Nar now has 3. But I know what you guys are saying with Good Night Tonight. But I hope that makes sense. Point for Mike. 3 points. Okay, Mike. You're in the lead. We've got, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more questions. Okay. And 2 more Wings related questions. One, whoop, there goes the mint. That's good. In a good way. 1 Got Back tour question, and then the rest are anthology. I told you, folks, I'm fighting a sore throat here. Okay, next question. Who is the engineer on Wildlife? Who is the engineer on Wildlife? No. Nope. 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 All good guesses. All good guesses. No. All good guesses. It's a name you don't really hear associated with Paul other than this album. I'll tell you that. And fun fact, you'll hear him referenced at the start of the album on Mumbo. There's a little hint for you. All good guesses. Mike is the closest, but yeah. He's like, whatever. I don't know. Nobody's got this yet? Interesting. I thought this would be a layup. Come on. All right, listen to the start of Mumbo, okay? What does he say at the start of Mumbo when you put the album on? Yay! Mike Nar. Again, yes. Tony Clark. Mrs. Wheatley Tone, give your love a point, okay? Because he's keeping score. It is Tony Clark is the correct answer for wildlife. Take it, Tony. Yes. All right. Now, I'm going to give credit to this next question to my co-host on Hands Across the Water, Kyle Hand, because he came up with this kind of nugget of info last night when we recorded this episode, and it was a focal point of our episode. Okay. Now, here's the question. There are 8 Wings songs that have been included on every McCartney and Wings compilation. Name them. 8 on every comp. Okay, so Mike Nar, sorry, I've been saying Nar for years. It's going to take me a time to get used to saying Nair. I'm sorry, my fellow New Jersey resident. Mike Nair. What are the 8 Wings songs that have been on every compilation? So we're talking Wings Greatest. We're talking All the Best, Wingspan, and Pure McCartney, and now Wings 2025. What 8 songs have been on? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of them. And I need to see them all in one comment on the channel for the point. 8 on every compilation. Tom Leverine says, yeah, Mark. Oh, I mean, Mike. David says, Band on the Run, Jet. Maybe I'm amazed with a little luck. No. Nope. No, good guess, though. Good guess, because Coming Up would not have been on Wings Greatest. Neither would 1985. Nor Maybe I'm Amazed. 8 songs. And 8 songs you know really, really well, too. There is no outliers here. These are all smash hits. I'm sure everybody's just typing them all now, which is fine. Make some. Laura, make him coffee now. Chop, chop. And your Lions aren't playing because you lost on Thanksgiving. So what do you have to watch today? Nothing. My Giants play tomorrow night against New England. They're going to get their asses smoked. Okay. Mike Nair says, Band on the Run, so they love songs with a little luck. Live and Let Die. Hi, hi, hi. No. Nope. No. Good guess, though, Mike. Good guess. Good guess. Peace and love, Laura. Oh, Tom Liverani, Band on the Run, Jet, Say Love Song, Let Him In. Listen what the man said. Mull, Maybe I'm Amazed on Collaborate. Good guess. No cigar, Tom. It makes sense. but that's not accurate. Because listen to what the man said should have been on Wings Greatest, but it wasn't. Oh, Lynette, you think the people would have had enough of silly love songs? This girl just wants silly love songs. Hey, we all want that. She just wants to hear it live. Yeah. Okay, let's see. James Martinez is going to take a stab at it. Band on the Run, Jet, With a Little Luck, Good Night Tonight, Mo, My Love, Live and Let Die, Silly Love Songs. No. No. I want to see Beatly Tone. Well, but Beatly Tone knows this because he has access to the list, so he can't answer this one, but he knows it. Okay. Silly Love Songs, Live and Let Die, Jet, Let Him In, With a Little Luck, My Love, and Band on the Run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have but he knew that. He knew that. That's the answer. That is the answer. That is the 8 songs. Now, think about it, okay? Band on the Run, Silly Love Songs, Live and Let Die, Let Him In, Jet, My Love, Mull of Kintyre, and With a Little Luck. Those 8 songs, and I am holding up 8 fingers, Kim. See, 5, 6, 7, 8. See? 8 songs. They have all been on Wings Greatest. They have all been on All the Best, the UK configuration. They have all been on Wingspan. They have all been on Pure McCartney. And now they are all on Wings 2025. There's your 8. So, Mrs. Beatly Tone, you get a point. Give yourself a point. Give yourself a point. Give that an applause. Sorry about the cough drops, gang. I'm fighting off a cold. So if you hear the cough drop, I do apologize about that. It's wintertime. Okay. That's the end of the Wings section of questions. Okay. Here we go. What song did Paul play during sound check only once during the fall 2025 Got Back tour? This is a tough question, but if you heard this song and there is somebody in this chat who did hear it, you'll know what it is. And boy, am I super jealous that you saw it. What song did Paul play during sound check only one time during the fall 2025 Got Back tour? I knew he would get it. I knew he would get it because he was there for it. The answer is All My Loving. Played once and only one time in the great city of Pittsburgh that Tom and James Liverani were at. No, it's not Ram On, but because Ram On was played at just nearly all of them. But it's not Backseat of My Car, although that, listen, you would have had to revive all of us with AEDs if it was Backseat of My Car. But the answer, hello, Paul. Nice to see you here today. You guys saw All My Loving. Last performed at the end, I think it was in Paris in 2024. So it had been a while, but you got All My Loving. And then Magical Mystery Tour. Those are 2 songs out of the 4 sound checks shows that I did not hear either of those. I didn't hear Magical Mystery Tour nor All My Loving, but you guys did. Good one. Yes, they were. We were hoping for that in Nashville. We didn't get it. The closest we got to that was DJ Chris playing it at the end of his set. Yakety yak. No, don't talk back. That's awesome. Yeah. And how did it sound? Obviously, there's no phones in sound check. I mean, Tom, honestly, was it really good? Like, was he in good form for it? Because obviously there's no video of that, but it must have sounded great, right? Okay. We are now moving into Beatles anthology questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. Okay. And then we're going to call it for a Sunday live show. If I could get a update on the score, Beatley Tone, if who is in the lead, I think it probably is still Mike with 4, right? Lynette wanted to hear temporary secretary, but he didn't do it at my sound check. That was done too. Yeah. Mike has 4. Tom, David, and George on 2. They are leading the scores on the Macca door. Okay. And getting ready to let them in. Good. I'm really happy for you guys. What a treat to hear that song live. Rare. Boyan, I was at work and Boyan had texted me when you guys were there because he was following the sound check. He was like, "Oh my lovin', those Liveranis, they're hearing "Oh my lovin'" right now." I said, I know. And we thought for a hot minute about going to Pittsburgh, but just wasn't feasible. All right, anthology question time. Okay, David, this is what David's been waiting for because David has all been about the anthology. He's all in, okay? What was the name of the song that the musicians were told they were working on when they recorded the string parts for Now and Then at Capitol Studios back in 2022? If you recall from the documentary, Paul went to Capitol Studios to oversee the orchestration of Now and Then. They didn't know that they were doing Now and Then, but they were told it was something else. What was that song title? No. Yes, a new Paul song, but what was it called? What was it called? David gets a point. Give and take. The correct answer is Give and Take. And if you watch that little 12-minute documentary directed by Oliver Murray, who directed episode 9 of the anthology, you'll see on the sheet music, I think it's of the violinists, and there's a piece of sheet music and it says Give and Take. But they're doing the strings for Now and Then. They didn't want them to know that they were doing a Beatles song because if you are somewhat tapped into the Beatles universe, you know, even before Now and Then came out, you knew that was a thing. So they called it Give and Take and they called it Paul's Next Song. So you can go back and watch Oliver Murray's 12-minute doc to see that. Hopefully he gets back to me. I've emailed him. If you watched my little Real Love video from the other day, I would love to have a chat with the director of episode 9, which was just fantastic. Most of the stuff we saw before, but there's a good, I would say, 10 minutes of footage that we have not seen before. And it was absolutely just tugs at your heart. Paul referring to the chair. You know the scene I'm talking about, right? Yeah, it's pretty emotional. Mike has 4, and David. David's gonna make a push now because we're doing anthology questions, and this has been all of David's rage for the last month. All these texts, anthology. So hold on, Mike Nair. You got somebody coming right up behind you. Next question. Okay. What venue did Paul and George and Ringo disagree about playing more than once? What venue did Paul, George, and Ringo disagree about playing more than one time? They both got it at the same time. With the same timestamp. At 1:12, Mike and David both say Shea Stadium. And George. You know what, Tony? You got some work to do. They all came in at the same time. George gets a point. Tom Liverani gets a point. Joe Manganiello gets a point because all these timestamps say 1:12. So please tick them off all a point, please. You knew that. Of course you did. So please update the rankings to have that. Come on. Shay? That's a pretty important name for us, isn't it? She's talking about our son. Take those points down, please. And give me the update when you can, Tony, if you please, because everybody got those. Everybody gets a point. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more. 4 more. Okay. Mike Nair has 5. David has 4. Tom and George have 3, and Joe has 2. Thank you, Tony. There is our updated score leaderboard here for the Sunday trivia show. Okay. So we have 3. We have 2 with 3, and Joe with 2, and David's with 4. Okay. Next question. Okay. In Rishikesh, Paul talks about John wanting to go up to the helicopter to slip the Maharishi the answer. What song did this eventually become? In Rishikesh with the Maharishi, Paul talks about John wanting to go to the helicopter to slip him the answer. What song did this eventually become? Ooh. David's got it. David's got it. Good guess, though. Good guess, Mike. I got to give it to David. I got to give that one to David exclusively. I'm sorry, man. Oh. Yeah. Well, I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant. It's tight. I can't separate that one. I can't. David's got that one. All right. On to the next one. All right. Okay. Tick another point up there for now. Now Mike and David are tied now, 5 each. So now neck and neck. Mike Nair and David Gargolino, the former leg. Okay. Next question. I haven't been back since, said Ringo Starr. What is he referring to? What is Ringo referring to? Philippines. David comes roaring back to now take the lead. I knew what you meant. But we've got timestamps here the same. Joe Mantaneo chimed in at 1:16 as well with the Philippines. So Tony, please give another point to Joe Mantaneo. That should now give him 3. And David now has 6. David has 6. Thank you. Okay. Nope. The Philippines, where they treat you like ordinary passenger. And George also talks about his contempt for that country. Oof. Yes. Yes, indeed. It is the Philippines. So now David's up 6-5 with 2 more questions. 2 more questions, and that's going to wrap it, gang. Here we go. Whose uncle handed him 100 quid for a birthday present? Oh, they cut that from the 2025 version? Interesting. Ooh. Whose uncle handed him 100 quid for a birthday present? Okay. Mike and David both get it at 1:17. That's a point each. Actually, that's a point for Joe Mantaneo. That's a point for Tom Liverani because the timestamp is all the same. You don't get an extra credit for being in the right city. Paul also gets a point. He's on the leaderboard now too, Tony. The answer is John. That's correct. Yeah. Let's get that updated tally now. I think David's still ahead by 1 with 1 question left. So David now has 7, and Mike should now have 6, I think, right? Okay. We'll give Tony a second to chime back in with the updated tallies, and then we will do it. Okay. David has 7. Mike has 6. and Joe and Tom are on 4. Okay. So we're either going to have a tie here or David's going to win it. Okay. Now, okay. For the final question of the Sunday Live, here we are. Who attended the Liverpool Institute with Paul McCartney and George Harrison at the same time they were there? Who went to that school with Paul and George? Okay, there's all right, so there's multiple, there's a couple of right answers here, okay? So that's not the answer I was looking for. But we're gonna need Tony to weigh in here, I think. That's not the answer that I was looking for, although it's correct. Lynn just got it. Lynn, I was looking for Neil. Neil Aspinall was the answer I was looking for. Although Ivan Vaughn did go to that school with them. And that's a correct use. Tony said Ivan. Okay. Ivan Vaughn. All right. I was thinking Neil. But if they're both correct. Lynn wants a point just for typing silly love songs 8 times in a single post. Give it to her. So if you said Ivan Vaughn and you said Neil Aspinall, you get a point. Yeah. True. But in terms of the anthology, Neil has such a presence in the anthology because he's in it quite a bit. So because you do see a photograph of Neil and Paul and George in episode 1. And absolutely, a very important guy. So if you said Jive with Ivan Vaughn, you are correct. If you said Neil Aspinall, you are correct. So give everybody a point there for that, Tony, and tally us up. And I think David wins by a point. No, you're absolutely right, Mike. Very, very, very important. Very important. Yeah. Yes. We'll wait for the final ticks from Beatley Tone, and then we'll say au revoir. Learned all this French now. Yes. Okay, there it is from Beatley Tone. David wins with 8 points, Mike Nair with 6, and Joe Mantaneo in third with 5 points. So that is going to wrap up today's episode. Yeah. David, I'll mail it this week. Do you have a copy yet? I'm sure you do. Just pass it on. Okay. Yeah. Congratulations there, Duke Viking, the former leg. Yeah. Good to be back here again with everybody here. It's probably where my future home is going to be for the Sunday Lives. You don't have the book. You don't? Oh, yes. Fantastic. All right. And I already have your address, so I will mail it to you this week. Awesome. Sunday family, thank you for hanging in here on a Sunday afternoon, cold day at the end of November, on the eve of Christmas, anthology season, all the rage. There's so much to dive into, the documentary, the Wing stuff, everything. It was great to be back here in my home and with the Sunday family here talking to you all. A lot more to come here. Stay tuned to Hands Across the Water, dropping this week. Stay tuned for an email from me for an invite to a Two Legs live show on Thursday night to kind of wrap up the Got Back tour with me and Tom. That'll be on Two Legs. That's on Thursday night. So lots of activity here between me and Hands and on Two Legs. It was wonderful chatting with you all, and all of you that stayed here for the hour and a half. I really appreciate it. I know some people had to dip out. And, I do apologize for being a little bit later. I will be more on time. If I say 11:30, I will be 11:30. But it's a Sunday, right? We're all hanging out and eating Thanksgiving leftovers and listening to Beatles and Paul, right? What else? What better way to do it? And Tom, give my best to James. I didn't see him on today, which means he's probably busy. And I look forward to talking to him again soon. And I will probably do this again next Sunday because I've got more stuff to give away. So next week will be the T-shirts, the My Love stuff, the Red Rose Speedway T-shirts. So runner-up, the winner and the runner-up both get a shirt next week. They are 2X, so shrink them down, give them away. So it's shirts next week, and then the week after that is the granddaddy of them all, Power to the People. So we will do that before Chrissy. So everybody in the Sunday family, David, Paul Perigo, Heidi, Mrs. Beatley Tone. Beatley Tone, thank you for keeping score today. Joe Mantaneo, Lynette, Mike Nair, George Smith, Andy all the way from Brazil, who was in here earlier on. Thank you for tuning into the Sunday show. Great comments, back and forth trivia, talking Beatles. Tony D, all the way at the start, James Boyce, Matt Bazell, Retroactive Armor, Christian, Jeff. Thank you all for Lynn with 1A. She dipped out, but thank you all for being here. I'll see you all during the week. And if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. So see you next time, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye.